A second to make sure everything's all right. Okay, I'm live on TikTok and YouTube. She's drinking some water. All right.
Fingers moving, and these are just miscellaneous tangle tamers.
Tangle tamers.
Ready? Here we go.
Wait, let me make sure. Yes, it is currently on. Steno output is on.
Suffered recessions. Nuclear containment. Sophisticated collaboration. Valued prudence. Automotive ecstasy. Microchannel bus architecture. Senior Vice President. Random access. Community reacted. Affirmative.
Clough_man just redeemed autism creature.
Thanks for redeeming autism creature and pat my head. Have a nice lurk and twerk.
Clough_man just redeemed pat my head.
Have a good lurk, Patrick.
Action programs. Circuits overloaded. State disability. Temper tantrum. Conciliatory gesture. Inter-district expulsion. Merger specialists. Strategy collapsed.
Okay, now I need to look these up. What's that supposed to be?
Expulsion. Inter-district.
Inter-district. Am I not on the right district? Thought I did. That's district. It has no asterisk in the middle. Lawful will always say lurk and twerk. If I don't ever say it, ask if I'm okay. Okay. Interdistrict and expulsion. Look up expulsion. And it's not in the dictionary. Oh, okay, PLGZ actually. It is in the dictionary.
Expulsion. Merger specialists. Strategy collapse.
Oh, got another donation. Okay, hold up. Okay, turn off the browser. Go to Tiltify. You hate Twitch? Is it because it's because of all the lagging and issues you've been having? I'm sorry. I'll do the monologue during the when the train comes in, Grace. That way we all get to enjoy it together. All 50 of us. 50 or so of us. Thank you for the donation, $30. Yippee!
Now let's practice some phone numbers. Get a little number practice. These are just phone numbers.
Excited to see what the monologue is. Is this a pre-recording? No, it's not.
Ready? Here we go. 585.
Oh, if you mean the video that's currently playing on the stream, that is pre-recorded. Yes, I'm doing stenography to a dictation video.
7. Go. Ready? Here we go. 585 721 3313 717
Just doing numbers.
3. Now let's practice some words, and these words
Yeah, words, not numbers.
all start with EX.
EX words. Okay.
So the X sound. Ready?
Okay.
Exaggerate, excavator, exchange, exciting, exempt, execute, exert, exhaustion, extrovert, exobiology, expend, expensive, explain, explanation, expose, extend, extract, extravagant,
Extravagant. Exhaust. Oh, okay.
Now we're going to practice names, first name, last name, spellings, and credentials. Okay, here we go. Rich Alasi, RPR, ALOSSI. Rachel Barkume, RPR, BARKUME. Bobby Barrett, RPR, CMRS. BARRETT.
Thank you for redeeming Yeehaw.
Ticked off Patrick
Mary
just redeemed
Berry,
Yeehaw.
RDR, CRR, BERRY. Mary Berzianski, RPR, BURZYNSKI. Christy Canariato, RPR, CRR, CRC, CANNARIATO. Cynthia Clark, RPR, CMRS, CLARK. Donna L. Collins, RPR, CRR, CRC, COLLINS, Ronald L. Cook, RDR, CRR, CRC, COOK, Virginia Dodge, RDR, CRR, DODGE, Brenda Douglas, RPR, DOUGLAS, Greta Duckett, RPR, CRR, DUCKETT.
Okay. Video's almost over. 2 more minutes.
All right, let's see what we have in our book of 14,000 things to be happy about. Ready? Sangria ice, bike covers, coupons for groceries, vine fruits, winning a blue ribbon, handmade ski sweaters, loose strands of hair, people who pay Visa bills with MasterCard, wood-grained cabinets, broken corn blades drifting in the breeze, knowing your cholesterol level, choosing a watermelon, flowers for nurturing your soul, candies under pillows.
That's it for that. Okay, now we have the jury charge in literary.
Welcome to literary and jury charge practice. Let's get started with some jury charge, and the subject of this jury charge is double indemnity.
Double indemnity. Not a right. Indemnity. Indemnity. Okay.
Ready?
That's 4 strokes.
Gentlemen of the jury, you are instructed that in this case, the burden of proof rests upon the plaintiff to prove the material allegations of her petition by the fair preponderance of the evidence, and if she has failed to do this, your verdict should be for the defendant. By the fair preponderance of the evidence is not meant necessarily the greater number of witnesses, but it is that proof which satisfies your mind as to its truth when weighed against the evidence received in opposition thereto. There has been introduced the testimony of certain witnesses who purport to be skilled in their line of endeavor. Such witnesses are known in law as expert witnesses. An expert witness is one who is skilled in any certain art, business, or profession, possessed of peculiar knowledge required by study, observation, and practice. You are instructed that you may consider the testimony of these witnesses and give it such weight and value as you think it should have, but the weight and value to be given their testimony is for you to determine. You are not required to surrender your own judgment to that of any person testifying as an expert, or give controlling effect to the opinion of an expert, for the testimony of an expert, like that of any other witness, is to be received by you and given such weight and value as you deem it is entitled to receive. You are instructed that it is the sole province of the jury to form conclusions from expert testimony as to the existence of particular facts not of common knowledge and peculiar within the knowledge of men, whose experience enables them to speak with authority, and to weigh such testimony as given by them to arrive at a decision as to whether the deceased came to his death as a result of a fall or accident, or whether he died from a heart condition. You are instructed that the fact that the deceased had a weakened condition of the heart did not in itself preclude the plaintiff from recovery, and if you find and believe from the evidence that the deceased received a fall which accelerated the condition of the plaintiff to such an extent that death resulted, it was an accidental death within the meaning of this policy. You are instructed that the beneficiary or the plaintiff in this case has filed suit under the double indemnity clause of a life insurance policy which was admittedly issued by the defendant, that under the double indemnity clause upon which this suit is founded, providing that double amount of the face of the policy be paid in case of accidental death, the statement of the person or physician who prepared the proof of death is merely a conclusion of that party and was made only for the purpose of establishing the manner in which he died. You are instructed that if you find and believe from the evidence that the deceased fell, and as a result of that fall he received a severe blow on the head, which accelerated or aggravated a diseased condition which was present, and had been present for some time, and that death resulted therefrom, it was an accidental death within the meaning of this policy, and your verdict should be for the plaintiff.
Jesus, wow. For a second there, I was doing really good. I don't know how to write opposition. Your uni V4 arrives this week, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Opposition.
Now for some literary practice.
Literary practice. What are we practicing today?
And this art is actually an article, and it's called A New Cart Provider's Journey.
Ah, it's the cart provider.
And we'll continue
article.
with this article now. Ready?
Sounded interesting last time.
6. Know your software. You've heard it a million times, but there's a reason for that. Setting up phonetic translation and being able to manipulate your display, for example, are crucial. 2 minutes before class started one day, my client asked me to change my text color, background color, and text size. It should have been simple, but there were unexpected problems, such as the black background causing my include files to be invisible, since they were programmed with black text. Then my headers turned on unexpectedly, causing huge jumps in my display. It was just a mess. That day still haunts my dreams. 7. Get a mentor, or get two, as I did. I've bothered these wonderfully patient women with panicky questions on such topics as wardrobe, taxes, salary negotiation, and even wedding reception locations. Obviously, we became friends. I should not suggest beginning your relationship with wedding-related questions, but consider yourself lucky if it ever does go there. 8. Read up on CART ethics and guidelines. You know all those lovely codes you're responsible for knowing as a certified court reporter. There's a whole different set of rules for CART, and issues such as confidentiality and client sensitivity are a big deal. NCRA's website is a good place to start. 9. Get certified. No, it's not necessary, and I know some phenomenal writers who aren't, but it helps to get your foot in the door, gives you more options, especially during school breaks when jobs are scarce, and covers you if employers ever decide to start requiring it. As a bonus, someone usually wants to throw you a party. 10. Build your dictionary like crazy and know it well. I know reporters who started taking depositions with fewer than 20,000 entries, but I don't think that would work in CART. That being said, prefixes and suffixes are imperative and allow you to create significantly more words than entries. So it's not as hard as it may seem to have a functioning dictionary. I practice to anything I can get my hands on. Newspapers, books, magazines, podcasts, my little sister's textbooks, and lists of names. This will help you get used to writing unfamiliar words. You know what I've never written on the job? Beyond a reasonable doubt.
Interesting advice. Build your dictionary is something that you would think would be really obvious.
And that is the end of that literary.
It seems like Phoenix might be well suited for CART.
Get back to some jury charge practice. Ready? You are further
Tickled off Patrick just redeemed yeehaw.
Thanks for redeeming yeehaw.
instructed, however, that... Ready?
Okay, ready. Disguises.
You are further instructed, however, that if you do not find and believe from the evidence that the deceased fell, and as a result of that fall he received a severe blow on the head, which accelerated or aggravated a diseased condition which was present and had been present for some time, and that death resulted therefrom, it was not an accidental death within the meaning of this policy, and your verdict should be for the defendant. You are instructed that if you find from the evidence in this case by a fair preponderance thereof that Thomas Doolittle came to his death from an occlusion of the heart which resulted directly and independently from all other causes, and solely because of a fall which he received, and under the conditions have been testified to, that the occlusion of the heart and his consequential death was a result unexpected, unforeseen, and involuntary, then it will be your duty to find in favor of the plaintiff and fix her recovery against the defendant in the sum of $6,000 under the double indemnity clause quoted in the policy in controversy. You are the sole judges of the credibility of the witnesses and the weight and value to be given to their testimony. If the testimony of a witness is apparently candid and fair, reasonable within itself, and such witness has been in no way impeached, you should not arbitrarily discard each testimony. It is your duty to reconcile the testimony if you can, so it may all stand. If you cannot reconcile the testimony, then for the purpose of ascertaining what testimony is worthy of credit, you may take into consideration the apparent candor and fairness of a witness, the reasonableness or unreasonableness of his or her story, whether or not the witness has been in any way impeached, the interest of the witness, if any, in the result of the trial, the opportunities or lack of opportunities of the witness to see or hear or know the things about which he testified, whether or not any witness has made contradictory statements, and all the circumstances surrounding the case. If, after a careful consideration of all the evidence in the case, you find that any witness or witnesses have knowingly, willfully, and corruptly testified falsely to any fact material to the issues in the case, you have a right to entirely disregard his or their testimony, or any part thereof, as you may deem proper. You should consider these instructions as a whole, and you should not reach a verdict based on any single instruction. In arriving at your verdict, you must be governed solely and alone by a consideration of the evidence and the instructions of the court. Your verdict should not be reached by casting lots, striking an average, or by
audio so loud.
Dreamers Arcading just traded with 16 viewers.
I was just trying to fix a technical issue I just had. Hello everyone. Welcome to my part of the Aspec raid train. How are y'all doing today? Hello everybody. Bubbling Bugsy, of course. Floppy Dorkle, a digital cow, Dreamers of Video. Hello, hello, hello. Vintage Vinyl. Real Yeah, it's still really quiet. I can hear it. Could no one hear me before? Oh, now it is. There we go. I had monitoring and output on. Monitoring and output. We could only hear when you shouted before. Oh my god. How embarrassing. Let me check TikTok too. Because I am also live on TikTok. Let me just make sure that the audio, people can actually hear me. It doesn't seem like people can hear me on TikTok. I might have to just stop being live on TikTok because it doesn't seem to be working today. I can't hear myself at all. But at least you know now? Yeah. Okay, the problem that I'm getting right now is that when I turn monitor and output on, which I need for TikTok, it's not working. So let me just turn on my microphone on TikTok without actually having messed with it. Okay. I should be fine on TikTok now. My VTuber is so cute, by the way. Yeah, my friend made it for me. She's really talented. Her name is Nemoira. She no longer streams, but when she did, she was a really great streamer. She just didn't get a lot of attention, which sucked. So, like I was saying, for my part of the raid train, I'm also fundraising for Point of Pride. And I do have incentives. My incentives are for $10, I steno a complex word of your choosing. For $20, I add something permanently to my dictionary. For $30, I read a monologue, part of a video, etc. in steno. It could be text too. For $40, I steno without looking at the output for 5 minutes. And for $50, I create a custom steno GIF for you. My boyfriend makes my PNG tuber, so I know how it is to have talented people who are sweet enough to make things for you. Yes. She just messaged me one day and was like, I really want to get into making and rigging models. Can I make one for you? It'll be for free. It's for my portfolio. And I was like, sure, go ahead. And then she created this in a couple months. It was really fast. And ever since, I've been using it. So, I did get a video incentive. That I will be doing right now, completing right now. Okay, it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Reminder that I am currently, my speed is actually 120 words per minute. So this will be really tough for me. Okay. When I told my boyfriend we were just friends at this point that I wanted to start streaming and be a PNG tuber, he was like, "Bet, I'm making it for you, no arguing." Aw, how sweet. Okay, this is a monologue from Brennan Lee Mulligan on Dropout, the channel Dropout. Game Changer animated. I've seen clips of Game Changer before.
I know what's going on here. I know what's going on here. Okay? I do.
Do you?
And if you want me to wander backstage to spill the beans...
I mean, there's really no need for us to do that.
Maybe if I do Q&A, it'll be better. Game Changer is so good. I'm gonna do this in Q&A format.
I know what's going on here. I know what's going on here. Okay? I do.
Do you?
And if you want me to wander backstage to spill the beans...
I mean, there's really no need for us to do that because...
It's the final question,
these other
right?
two are in the loop, so...
They're in the loop. I'm the only one out of the loop, it would seem. And if we check my point total here, I don't need to walk to the front because I know what it is. It's a big old goose egg, gang. It's a fat 0. Hello, a little late addition to the numerical symbol chart brought to us from our friends in Arabia. A little bit of trivia that I happen to know about the history of numbers. That kind of little tidbit would serve me well in most trivia games, unless it had been rigged from the beginning.
Whoa, dude.
Whoa, dude. Whoa, dude. I've only just begun to pull the thread on this sweater, friends. You would think in a game where there were only 2 possible correct choices that one would stumble into the right answer every so often, wouldn't you? In fact, the probability of never guessing right in the full game is a statistical wonder. And yet, here we are. Introduced at the top of the game as a champion. What do you think that means? Icarus flying too close to the sun. But it seems Daedalus, our little master crafter over here, had some wax wings of his own, didn't he? Wanted to see his sun fall from the sky. Oh, how close to the sun he flew. Well, I'm not having it. I've solved your labyrinth, puzzle master. The Minotaurs escaped, and you're gonna get the horns, buddy.
Okay, are we?
Can I tell you what
Did we think we were in on it, but actually Brennan is the only one in on it, and that was rehearsed?
That was an incredible monologue. Brennan, what is the rule of the game?
Can we all say
I cannot win!
That is correct, Brennan! You cannot win the game!
Did we all get crowns?
I had trouble. Aspec Pride Train as a fellow Aspec, that's awesome. Yeah, welcome in, welcome in. How are you doing today? I tried my best on the monologue. That was really funny. So I'm gonna be continuing on with the stenography practice, but if anyone else donates, I'll be really glad to do another incentive. Remember, it's exclamation point incentives if you don't know what they are, but they are also located on the donation link as a reward that you can redeem. Okay, I'm going back to the 160 words per minute jury charge in literary practice. Jury charge is judge's instructions to the jury. In literary is literally anything. It can be like text from a book, an article, etc. It's just gotta be something that's unrelated to legal stuff. That was jury charge. I'm 13 minutes into the 21-minute video. An article, okay. What's it on? MD versus DDS? I don't know what that means. Bettler. Thank you for the lurk. Videographers are very important. For reporters and videographers, very, very important for legal proceedings. Oh, I forgot to, I'm having so many issues today. I forgot to turn on the video.
Ready? Here we go. The undersigned owners and or resident owners of the land hereinafter described respectfully represent as follows, that the establishment of a drainage ditch along the route hereinafter specified will be of public benefit and utility, will promote the public health, and is necessary for the following reasons, to wit, that the reclamation of wet and overflowed lands requires the construction of drainage ditches, that the lands along said proposed ditches are fertile and valuable farm lands, either too wet for farming or often flooded by surface water, destroying growing crops and causing inconvenience in farm operations, that water often collects along the route and becomes stagnant, foul, and polluted, creating breeding places for mosquitoes and other disease-bearing insects, thereby endangering the health of persons living in the vicinity thereof, and that the public highways are often flooded or washed out, causing inconvenience to the traveling public and damage to the highways, requiring extensive repairs, that the general description of said proposed drainage ditch is as follows, to wit, commencing at a point 400 feet north of the west corner of Section 3, Township 111 North, Range 41 West, Marshall Township, in the town of Lakewood in the county of Cook, thence running along the following route: northeasterly through said Section 3, crossing the North Township line 400 feet east of the north corner of Section 3, thence northeasterly through Section 34, Township 112 North, Range 41 West, Lyons Township, crossing the east line of Section 34, 600 feet south of the east corner of Section 34, thence about 240 rods easterly into Section 35, Township 112 North, Range 41 West, Lyons Township, thence northerly about 150 rods, and thence easterly about 100 rods, and terminating on the east line of Section 35 at a point approximately 600 feet south of the northeast section corner of said Section 35. All right. And we will stop there.
Oh my god, land description kills me. It never gets easier, I swear. And it always just feels like a bunch of words being said to me. It never feels like real English. This is the Q&A.
Welcome to Q&A practice. Let's get started with some warm-up. We'll do a little two-voice practice. And we will start with the defense attorney.
Defense attorney.
Get our fingers moving. Ready? Here we go.
Okay.
In other words, the substance of that conversation at that time was that Mr. Weeks told Mr. Stanton that he needed money, and you said you didn't know how much it was, but they would have to find out from the accountant. Is that a fair summation? Yes, sir. All right. Did anybody say anything to you about putting any additional money in the dealership at that meeting? I don't think so. I think they were going to have a meeting the next day. Did you have any discussion during this meeting about what would happen if the money wasn't put in? Yes, sir, we did. And what was that discussion? That we were going to have Mr. Weeks surrender the store to us. Did Mr. Weeks say anything about what his understanding was? That if he didn't have the funds in there March 20, we would have him surrender the store. Did Mr. Weeks say anything at that particular meeting about whether or not he had had any discussions with any representative of the corporation? Not really. No, sir. All right, after this meeting evening conversation on March 16. When is the next time you had a conversation with Mr. Stanton? I believe it was the next day. All right, approximately what time of the day? If you remember, 7 in the morning. All right, when was the next conversation that you had with Mr. Stanton? After that. The next one was the following day at home in the evening. All right, what time in the morning was that? 6:15. I think that's about right because I remember he woke me up. I had a small baby at the time. What did Mr. Stanton tell you at that time? I don't really remember the substance. You don't have any independent recollection, is that right? No, sir, I don't.
Okay, that was a warm-up, I guess.
All right, now let's try some voice practice. We'll start with the plaintiff. Ready? Do you remember just getting a little bit more specific, the subject matter, what the briefs addressed? I think they addressed invalidity, non-infringement, I'm not sure what else, and then the damages, obviously. There may have been some other things I can't remember off the top of my head. Okay, and you said you reviewed the spreadsheet, the Excel spreadsheet as well, and I take it you reviewed that in the context of your conversation with Susan West? Yes. What information did Ms. West convey to you regarding the spreadsheet? And you can just summarize. Just verify where the information came from and what the columns represented. Okay, and I noticed that you have a document in front of you. Is that correct? Yes. Did you put this document together? No. Who drafted the document for you to the best of your knowledge? Counsel. Okay, and what is the document? It's basically a summary of the questions from Exhibit 1 or the list of the topics. Okay, may I take a look at that document? Yeah, is that? I will look at that in more detail during the break, so I'm not wasting time here. I think you previously testified that you're an employee of Writer North, U.S. Is that accurate? Yes. And I think you also previously testified that you're not an employee of Writer North Limited or Writer North China. Is that fair? That's correct. I put before you Deposition Exhibit 2, which is a confidential settlement agreement between Writer North and Weston Cycle and Sam Ramos. Is that a fair general characterization of this document? Yes. And on the last page has a Bates number N26054. You signed as the Vice President on behalf of both Writer North Limited and Writer North US. Is that fair? That's correct. And I take it you have the authorization to sign this settlement agreement on behalf of Writer North Limited. Is that fair? Yeah, I signed it on behalf of our CEO, Ray Weston. Now I take it that Writer North China and Writer North US are both wholly owned subsidiaries of Writer North Limited? Yes. And is it fair to say that Writer North Limited, Writer North US, and Writer North China are effectively treated as a single entity or organization? All three are operated individually. But Writer North China and Writer North US do not have a board of directors or boards of directors. Is that fair? That's correct. And Writer North China, Writer North US do not have CEOs. Is that correct? That's correct. Ray Weston, who is the CEO of Writer North Limited, has the final say on all matters regarding Writer North Limited, Writer North China, Writer North US. Is that fair? That's fair. Now I think you previously testified that Writer North US is a US-based sales arm for the Writer North family of companies. Is that fair? Yes. And is that accurate? That Writer North US is the US sales and marketing, the US sales and marketing arm for Writer North, for the Writer North family of companies. Is that fair? Well, it's not really. I don't know if that's a fair depiction of it. But Writer North US manages the US sales and marketing for Writer North. Writer North China manages the sales directly from China to the US to Canada to a variety of other countries as well. And Writer North also does a majority of the manufacturing for the Writer North family of companies. Is that fair? Yes. And is it fair to characterize Writer North Limited as the general business entity for the Writer North family of companies? Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you previously testified that Writer North US and Writer North China do not have officers. Is that fair? That's correct. Okay, Writer North Limited is the only one that has officers. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, and the last time that we did this, I think you identified Ray Weston as the only officer of Writer North Limited that you could remember at that time. Is that fair? Correct. Do you know of any other officers of Writer North Limited? Whoever sits on the board of directors from our investment company. And who is your investor company? Lester Peterson. Do you want me to spell that? Lesterpeterson. Other than Ray Weston and unnamed individuals from Lester Peterson, are there any other members of the board of directors that you can think of today? Not that I can think of. Can you identify the senior executives for Writer North China? Bob Kang. That's not his. He's got a Korean name. I'm not sure what the Korean name is, but Bob Kang is one. Stan Craig. Steve Craig. Craig. I'm sorry, can you? Kang. And how do you spell? I think you said Stan Craig was one of them. Yeah, Craig. Okay. Yeah, to me that's how I know him. Understood. Andy Kim, that's all I can think of right now. Do you know their titles? And I can just give you back the names and you can just give me titles to the extent you know them. Sure. Bob Kang. I believe he's Executive Vice President, Sales. Stan Craig, President Operations. Bob Kang. Did you say? Kang, yeah, he's Vice President. I'm not sure over what area. On what kind of matters, if any, do you deal with him on? Bob Kang? Yeah, not many. Okay. Not many. He's mostly on the production. I think he deals with general admin, but I really don't have much interaction with him. Okay, how about Andy Kim? Again, I think he's a vice president planning, I believe. VP of planning, yeah. Do you have much interaction with Bob Kang? Not a lot, from time to time. What is the nature of your interaction with him? Does it have to do with sales-related issues? Are you asking this on an individual basis or on a company basis? That's the problem with your instruction earlier, is you're asking the questions now that sound more like his individual knowledge, and I object to that question. I ask that you ask the questions appropriately so he knows what he's responding to. Go ahead and answer. Repeat it. Sorry about that. When you interact with Mr. Kang, what's the nature of your interactions? Mostly just in meetings. I really don't have a whole lot of direct interaction with him. And that will conclude our Q&A practice.
The Q&A lately has been so boring. Writer North Limited, Writer North US, Writer North China. I wish it were less boring.
This is a 160 Q&A practice test. Plaintiff attorney, Mr. Hopkins, capital Hopkins. Defense Attorney Ms. MS period Rios, capital RIOS. And we'll start with defense. Ready? Like how much more? It's I use it more often than I did before. Okay, how many times would you use it before this incident? Give me an estimate. And when he says how many times, you can say how many times per day or per week or per month, whatever is easiest for you to kind of narrow it down a little. Okay, let me think. How much did I use it then was your question. Before this incident, before maybe a couple times a day. Okay, now after the incident, I have to use the other inhaler in the morning and at night. And then my other inhaler, I'm using it more often in the day. The other inhaler, how often do you use that? In the morning and the night. No, he means if I'm correct, he means the one that you showed him earlier. Oh, that one, I use it maybe 3-4 times a day, maybe 5. So before this incident, you used an inhaler maybe twice a day, and now after the incident, you're using it 3 to 4 times a day. Remember to use words more often. Yes, sorry. Do you have any allergies? Have you ever been diagnosed with any allergies? Allergies, maybe the what do you call it? The I don't know the proper name for it. It's like the flowers, you know. Pollen. I don't know if that's what you call it. How does that affect you? How does that affect you? Say the flowers. I might need to use my inhaler, take my inhaler. Anything else that you've noticed in the environment that causes you to increase the use of the inhaler? Maybe the grass when they cut the grass, or if someone is smoking, cigarette smoke. Have you ever had any allergy testing done by a doctor? No. What about dog hair? Does that affect you? Animals? Trying to think, it depends on the dog. Now, have you noticed any exposure to grass, other people smoking, or flowers? Have you noticed that that's increased since May 2013, your sensitivity to it, or has it been the same, or maybe you haven't noticed? I really haven't noticed. Okay, now you've also filed a claim for an injury on August 10th.
Okay, we'll be right back with the ad break starting now. We're back now. Let me put the limiter back on my mic. Now that I know what was causing it. For some reason, TikTok automatically clipped my stream, and it's titled Epic Gaming. What gaming am I doing, TikTok? What gaming?
In 2014, what happened then? I was at my desk and at what work location? The Employment Options Center. Okay, and did the prior exposure also occur at that same location? No. It was a different school? Yes. Okay, so you're at your desk at this Employment Options Center, correct? Yes. In May of 2014, what happened? My nose started running, my eyes started watering, I started coughing. About what time did this occur? I don't recall what time it was. Was this during your usual shift? Yes. Of 7 to 11? Yes. So sometime between 7 and 11 you started having these symptoms? Yes. And did you discuss your symptoms with the teacher? Yes. Who was that? Susan Davis. And what occurred next? I think she called the office to report my symptoms. And were you referred to some doctor or clinic? Yes. Who were you referred to? What's the name of the place? I think it's IEOM, maybe. IEOM. All right. What did they do for you there at IEOM? I saw the doctor and I think he gave me a shot, and I don't remember if he gave me medication. How many times did you go back to IEOM? I think it was a couple of times. Other than the shot and meds, did he provide you with anything else like an inhaler? I don't remember. I don't recall. After they gave you the shots that first visit, did your symptoms subside? I don't remember. I think I went back another time. Okay, I'm not sure. The first time that you went, all right, they gave you the shot. Did that help the symptoms go away? I don't remember. And after you saw the doctor the first time, did you go back to work or did you go home? First time, I think I went home. I'm not sure. Did you return to school the next day to work? I think I did. I don't remember if it was that day, the next day, or the following day. And did you return to work to the same location? Yes. And when you returned to work, were you still having the runny nose, the watery eyes, the coughing? I don't remember because they worked on it's a portable, so they worked on it. I don't remember the time frame. When you returned to work, were you still having problems? I think I was still experiencing symptoms. Do you recall what you were experiencing? Still the coughing, the runny nose. And did you continue to work at that same location? Yes. For how long? I still work there. Okay, do you still have the coughing, the runny nose when you work there? No. What symptoms that you're currently having do you attribute to that specific day that still exists, that you still have? What do you mean? Okay, on that particular day, you testified that you developed a runny nose, watery eyes, and coughing. Do you still have those symptoms which associate with that specific day? I couldn't say. There's mold there, so I don't know if I'm still exposed to what was there. Who told you there was mold? The employees there. What employees, if you know their names? I think it was Ron Reynolds that said there was mold in the ceiling. Reynolds is his last name? Ron is the first name? Yes. And he's what? The maintenance man? He's the campus, I think he's the campus supervisor, the administrator for them. And what did he tell you in terms that there was mold? What did he specifically tell you? I think it was him that was upset about the mold that was running through the classroom. He was telling me that I was sensitive. Did they remove it? Yes. When did they remove it? I'm not sure exactly what day it was. Was it visible when you worked there? Yes. Okay. And is it visible now? No. So are you still having the problems with a runny nose, coughing, watery eyes that you attribute to this exposure? I don't know what you mean. Okay, the mold is gone, right? I think so.
Okay, got 2 minutes left.
All right, the word list. Employment Options Center, capital EMPLOYM.
Oh my god, TikTok posted a video to my account. They automatically did it. What is this video? It's of me not doing very good. Yeah, it was of my epic gaming. I was writing really slow too. I don't want this on my account. It's a minute and 15 seconds worth of video of me writing really slowly. Let me delete that. Thanks for the epic gaming post, TikTok. Delete.
ENT. Options, capital OPTIONS. Center, capital CENTER. Employment Options Center. Susan Davis, capital SUSAN. New word, capital DAVIS.
At least it didn't get any views.
Susan Davis. IEOM. All caps, no periods, no spaces. IEOM.
What is that? What is IEOM? Is that the name of something?
Ron Reynolds, capital RON. New word.
Oh wait, this was the test. Excuse me. She's giving a word list. Let me move this over to 14. Class 14. Now let me do 140 instead.
Welcome to drill practice. Let's get started with some words from our 100 most used phrases. Or I guess some phrases from our 100 most used phrases. Okay, here we go. To him, I should. To the left. Was that. You could. You know.
Hello, Patrick.
And you were. When you first. Ask you. I said. I will. What kind of. What time. 2 or 3. Did he. In my. Of it. Of the. When you got. You would. After the accident. I don't remember. Or not. Tell us. After the. At any time. First time. How much. Is that. Plaintiff's exhibit. prior to, were there, what kind, and your, did you ever, did you not, I know, what you were, what the, that you were, you see, do you recall, from the corner, he did, was he.
Just doing some epic gaming here. Oh my god! TikTok did it again! What is this? What is it doing? It keeps posting videos. This one is 1 minute and 3 seconds long. And it's also titled Epic Gaming. TikTok, no one wants to watch this. It is, okay, let me look at the description. Watch the exclusive live. There's a description. It's labeled TikTok Live, hashtag live highlights. Is it gonna continue to do this? I swear. Yeah, it is really funny, Patrick. That this is a new problem that I'm having. I think it's because I have my microphone on.
Do some number practice here.
We're not doing number practice.
Ready?
Because that's boring. Let's do some number practice. No, it's got to be license plate numbers, or it's got to be city, states, addresses.
All right, now these words are part of a list that, it's actually 1,000 words here, and these are just frequent words that you will hear. Frequent.
Yeah, look at me. I'm just epic gaming right now.
Actually, they account for 85% of all words encountered in the English language. Okay, so here we go. I, the, to, and, a,
Some epic gameplay.
you, of, in, we, it, for, that, is, you, have, will, be, are, not, as, at, this, with, but, on, if, all, so, me, was, very, my, had, our, from, am, one, time,
This is boring.
he, get, do, been, letter, can, would, they, any, which, some, has, or, there, us, good, no, just, by, up, day, much, out, her, order, yours, now, well, an, here, them, see, go, what, come, were, no, how,
Oh my god, when is this gonna
Did.
end?
think, say, please, him,
This is just the same as doing numbers.
got, over, make, may, received, before, to, send.
Oh my god. How long was that? It was like 4 minutes long.
All right, from our 14,000 things to be happy about book.
Oh, thank you. Yeehaw.
Tickled off Patrick just redeemed yeehaw.
Having a baby's sneakers bronzed.
I don't know what bronze means.
Sewing all your loose buttons on. Mapo cereal. A crystal jigger pitcher. Movable TV stands. Bay swimming. Buying your first home. A Saturday morning round of cleaning the house. Leapfrogging. Answers. An 18th century wooden splint box. Plant
Did you-
sitting
No,
for
you didn't
a
scare me.
friend.
You didn't scare me.
Roaring
I was looking down at my
fires.
shirts.
Skating rinks. Dutch tulip bulbs. Peach muffins. Beautiful flower decorated greeting cards displayed in a basket. Diamond mines. Playing blackjack or 21.
Is that it? That's it for this video. Okay, we're gonna go to the jury charge and literary now. Do not be boring. Also, no serial killers. No serial killers, no really violent, dangerous stuff in the jury charge and literary.
Welcome to jury charge and literary practice. Let's carry on with this jury charge we started before about it was regarding an accident. Here we go.
Regarding an accident.
It is sufficient for you to know that the district attorney must prove his case beyond a reasonable doubt. You must be convinced that the accident was caused by the criminal condition of the defendant. It is now your duty to determine the effect and value of the evidence and to decide all questions of fact. What I mean by that is that you have the duty to determine whether the direct and circumstantial evidence is such that it proves the case. Evidence may be direct or circumstantial. As indicated previously, the law makes no distinction in this regard. You must review the testimony of each of the witnesses and decide as to the credibility of each. You must disregard the number when considering the evidence. You must decide whether the evidence presented by the plaintiff is more credible than the evidence presented by the defendant. You must look to determine these issues beyond a reasonable doubt. A civil case may result from this case, but this is not a civil case. You must not only determine which side has the greater credibility, you must examine the testimony in court and decide whether there is a reason to believe that the witnesses are not credible. Then you must determine whether there is proof beyond a reasonable doubt. If a person testifies one way in the deposition and another way in court, you must look to the credibility of that witness. The credibility of that witness is in question. You must determine whether there is any question in your mind as to the guilt of the defendant. As to the witness in this case, it is important to weigh the most convincing evidence. You are not bound to decide according to the testimony of a number of witnesses. It is good that one side has a number of witnesses, but it does not mean that the side that does not have the same number of witnesses is less credible. You must look to the testimony of credible witnesses. You must not look to a number of witnesses. The test is not in the number, but in the convincing force of the evidence. You must not look to the defendant's counsel to see whether he proved that the defendant is not guilty. That is not the job of the defendant's attorney.
I did pretty good on that. Ooh, look at me. Doing good on a jury charge.
Now let's read a little more of our article from the NCRA magazine. This article is on wellness. And this section of the article is called Get Moving. We've all...
Give me a second. They've got a lot of options for audio stuff, TikTok, but I'm not seeing... Oh, audio offset there. Hopefully this is I forgot to set the offset, so hopefully this will be okay. Load TikTok. If my audio was delayed before, or wasn't delayed before, it should be now.
Read art, and this section of the article is called Get Moving.
Get moving, alright.
We've all read articles about how leading a sedentary life is not good. If you're looking for ways to get moving, there are many choices. You could join a fitness club or take aerobics classes. If hitting the gym isn't up your alley, start a walking club with some friends or neighbors. Are you near a bike path? Dust off the helmet and make bike riding a weekly ritual. Interested in really working up a sweat? You could try martial arts, which also helps with balance, focus, and flexibility. Most important, do something you enjoy, because chances are you'll stick with it. Judd says moving is non-negotiable for her well-being. She walks nearly every morning and sometimes runs. She gets out in...
Happy Pride and Aspec to you too, Hugster Duck. Thank you. Didn't realize that was a video at first when I was lurking. The Ray somehow left the stream paused. You missed me having technical difficulties. Also, I'm streaming on TikTok, and TikTok keeps automatically posting recordings to my TikTok page. So I'm having to juggle that as well. It's actually kind of funny. Let me delete that that video that they just posted on my account. It gets labeled Epic Gaming.
all kinds of weather, 6 days a week, for at least 20 to 60 minutes. An option for a home office is to get or build a treadmill desk, as Ruth Shellnut, a scopist in Longmont, Colorado, has. I log 1 to 2 hours a day. I have had a 4-hour day, and I'm no marathon walker or runner, but I love to move. I've lost 15 pounds since I bought the equipment, and am so happy to get my 10,000 steps in a day, no matter the weather, Shellnut says. While Shellnut's husband built her system for her, several companies are now building walking or treadmill desks for people in occupations that require a lot of computer time.
All right, occupation.
So there's another thought. A treadmill desk. But the main thing is get moving, it says, right? Doesn't have to be with a treadmill desk, but get moving. All right, so we'll continue with that article another time. Let's work on some jury charge. This is one we've been reading, and we have Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Commonwealth, they say Commonwealth often, although this little section now that we're going to read may not have it in there. Let me see if there's anything else in this part. Doesn't look like it.
They posted a 2-minute video and titled it Epic Gaming.
Doesn't look like there's anything too challenging in this section, so we'll give it a try. Here we go.
Okay, I'll give it a try. Let's see how challenging.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I emphasize that counsel's personal beliefs as to guilt or innocence, or as to other undecided questions, are irrelevant and immaterial and should not be considered. You may be guided by the lawyer's arguments to
I'm Duke, Chinese American from Chicago. He, him, thin romantic, attraction to feminine folks, sex-averse cis-ace, caring Pisces, younger Gen Xer, favorite color blue. Well, I am Puerto Rican from New Jersey, raised in Florida, currently in Delaware. I use they, them pronouns. I am aromantic, asexual. I'm also sex-averse. I'm a Gen Zer. I'm 27 years old. My favorite color, I tend to like dark colors. I don't really have a favorite color. I'm really fond of, what are they called? Pastel colors. I'm really fond of those. So like the trans flag is my favorite flag because it is blue, pink, and white. I think those are really pretty colors to put together.
To the extent that they are supported by the evidence and insofar as they aid you in applying your own reason and common sense. However, you are not required to accept the arguments of either lawyer. It is for you and you alone to decide the case based on the evidence as it was presented and in accordance with these instructions. The evidence in this case is of two different types. On the one hand, there is direct evidence, which is testimony by a witness from the witness's own personal knowledge, such as something that the witness saw or heard.
The trans flag is really beautiful. On my model, you can see that I have a pride flag, two pride flags on there. The one on the left side is the intersex flag, and the one on the right is the non-binary flag. I'm also intersex and non-binary. I'm agender.
The other type of evidence is circumstantial evidence, which is testimony and facts which point to the existence of other facts which are in question. You should recognize that it is sometimes necessary to rely upon circumstantial evidence in criminal cases. In deciding whether or not to accept circumstantial evidence as proof of the facts in question, you must be satisfied first that the testimony of the witnesses is truthful and accurate, and second, that the existence of the facts of which the witness testified leads to the conclusion that the facts in question also happened. Circumstantial evidence alone may be sufficient to prove a defendant's guilt. If there are several separate pieces of circumstantial evidence, it is not necessary that each piece, standing separately, convince you of the defendant's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Before you may find him guilty, all the evidence together must convince you of his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
Beyond a reasonable doubt. Oh no! TikTok just auto-posted again. Oh man! I keep having to delete these videos that TikTok keeps posting to my account. This one is sharing.
Alright, now to some literary
This one is titled Sharing This Hyped Moment. At least it's not Epic Gaming again. Hype moment. Join next live for more. It has that text over my model's face. Sharing this hyped moment in my live. Watch my live to see more. Just gonna delete that. Unless it was me doing something good. No, it's the same.
Material.
It's the same video over and over again.
We'll work on our pronoun drill. Okay.
Pronoun drill on this stream. Okay.
We must pay close attention to the difference in a stroke between who is and whose to say when you hear the word I, to stroke the word you or he, and it is easy when what you hear is he, to stroke the word I or you. What's easy for you to do is to hear you and stroke I or he. I don't know about you, but what I think when I have a you in my notes and I fits better is that I might have confused my I and you. Do you find that is the case with you too? That's what I find when there is a he in my notes and I or you fits better. I think there's something wrong here, and that's when I decide to straighten out which stroke is which word. When what I hear is a you, I want the you in my notes, not an I or a he. I practice these pronouns because I tend to shadow my notes when I push my speed. I will be happy, and I'm sure you will be happy too, when what we write is what we hear, such as you for you, I for I, this for this, that for that, who, what, when, where, how, and why, for who, what, when, where, how, and why.
That was a cute little paragraph. Hearing this hyped moment. That's gotta be a setting I can turn off.
Alright, let's try this jury charge. And let's see here, let me take a quick look. Let's see, accomplices.
Accomplices. Is there anything else?
Accessory.
Accessory.
Commission.
Commission. Seems like that's it.
All right, let's try this one. Here we go.
Trying.
With regard to the principals, you must keep in mind they have been charged with the crime of robbery. You must keep in mind that the crime they committed is a serious crime. The law that applies in this case determines the seriousness of the crime. All of these individuals have been charged as principals. None have been charged as accomplices. Accomplices are people who accompany another individual and assist in the commission of the crime. None of these individuals have been charged as accomplices. They all have been charged as committing the crime as principals. It is now the duty of the district attorney to have convinced you that they all acted in this capacity. These individuals may not have acted alone. They may have had assistance from someone who helped before or after the crime was committed. That is not your concern. Your concern is not to speculate. Your concern is to determine whether these individuals acted in the capacity of principals in committing this crime. Whether they had help from other individuals who assisted in the planning of a crime is not important. In other words, whether they had an accessory before the fact or after the fact is not important. It is not for you to speculate whether there was an accessory before the fact when the crime was committed. The defendant's attorney has brought that up in trial. That is not important to this case. An accessory before the fact is not on trial. It is an issue that is meant to confuse you. It is true that an accessory before the fact is never present when a crime is committed, but is still important to the commission of the crime and shares the responsibility. However, there is no accessory before the fact on trial in this case. The evidence brought forth regarding an accessory before the fact helping the principals plan the crime is not important to this case.
I did pretty good on that one too. Ooh, am I at 140 now? No, I'm still at 120. But imagine if I were at 140 right now. Imagine if I had like grown between today and yesterday. Hi Lilith, how you doing?
All right, let's do a little bit more from our article on wellness.
You're hungry? I feel you. How am I? I'm doing pretty good. I'm streaming on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. And guess what TikTok has been doing? Every like few minutes, TikTok uploads a video of highlights from the stream to my TikTok account. And they're never good highlights. So I keep having to look at my account and check to see if TikTok has posted something again. I'm gonna have to get something to eat in the next hour. In the next hour, I raid out. Let me check to see who I raid out to. I forget. Okay, Ashley. If it's auto, it's expected to be terrible? Yes, I agree. It's just automatically doing it. It's so funny. Like, I turn to look to my left to make sure that, you know... I mean, no one is watching the TikTok anyway. So you're, Melody? Yes. Aromantic, asexual, agender, Melody. That's what you mean. But the fact that it keeps posting these highlights is so funny. And they always have different descriptions too. Like the last one, it was all like, check out my latest live stream. Hashtag TikTok live. Hashtag highlights. Okay.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Don't sweat the small stuff. We know that stress
and ADHD and autistic. That's so true.
Can take its toll. Some symptoms of stress can include headaches, lack of sleep, aches and pains, forgetfulness, and anxiety. Research has shown that long-term effects can include heart disease, high blood pressure, and gastrointestinal problems. There are many great ways to reduce stress in your life. Exercising, spending time with family, meeting with friends, and meditating are just a few. Also, the way you handle crazy deadlines, a heavy workload,
My
and
model's amazing. It's so cute, isn't it? I love it a lot. I never get tired of looking at it.
general stress in your life, such as bad traffic and life-changing events, can make a world of difference. Letting go of things you can't control helps when dealing with stress in your life. Eat right. Your personal well-being doesn't just mean taking care of your body and learning how to cope with stress. It also includes eating right. Some people prefer eating 3 meals a day, while some would rather eat smaller meals several times a day. Whatever works best, make sure you're choosing a healthy diet. Try to add more fruits, vegetables, and lean protein on your plate. A sugary snack might be tempting, but it may not provide enough to sustain you. Maintaining the right diet and not skipping meals will help keep your energy higher and body healthier. Think about meeting with your doctor or a nutritionist to help determine what types of food are right for you. Then try to stick with it. Get enough shut-eye. The amount of sleep a person gets is incredibly important. Imagine how difficult it would be to focus after tossing and turning all night. According to some sleep researchers, there are ways to help combat sleep problems. Some say keeping a regular sleep schedule, avoiding caffeinated drinks 4 to 6 hours prior to bedtime, getting regular exercise, and minimizing noise and light in the room are a few ways to help.
I found that difficult for some reason. Not the sleeping. I always find sleeping to be very difficult.
All right, that will.
I mean the video itself. The dictation was difficult. I wonder how it'll be at Q&A.
Welcome to Q&A practice. And we're going to get started just with a little 2-voice practice. So it'll just be actually the defense attorney questioning the witness. Okay. Ready?
Defense attorney.
What did the doctor do for you? He gave me a shot for the pain I had. Did you go to sleep? I don't believe so. What do you next remember happening to you in the hospital? Then they wheeled me into the emergency room. Was some work done on your face at that time? Yes, sir. Were you unconscious when the work was done to your face? Yes, I was. Were you given another shot, or was it the original shot that made you unconscious? Another shot. So you actually don't know what was done to you in the emergency room? No. When was the first time you were actually able to observe your appearance? Probably the next day. Did you sleep through the whole night? To the best of my knowledge. And the next day you woke up and you were in the hospital? Yes. Now, at that time, were you able to observe what your injuries were? Well, I had a large bandage and I was able to feel sutures on my face. Do you know how many sutures were placed in your upper lip? No, I do not. Did you feel or observe any other injury other than the pain that you had by your lip? Well, I had a shoulder. It hurt on my left shoulder and I was bruised. Did you see any bruises? I can't remember for sure. Did you have any bandages on any other part of your body? No. Throughout your stay in the hospital, did you feel any other pain to other parts of your body other than your lip or your chest? Yes, I did. Where was that? In Westchester Community Hospital. What part of your body? My left hip. What did you feel to your left hip? Quite a severe pain. Well, was it a constant pain or an intermittent pain? Well, at first it was constant, and then it was more or less intermittent. By the time you left the Westchester Hospital, did you still continue feeling the pain in your left hip? Yes, I did. Did it seem to be getting better at that time, or was it worse? No, better. During your stay at Westchester, did you feel any other pain other than your hip, your chest, and your upper lip? Yes, I did. What part of your body? My whole body. Did the doctor give you any medicines or any pain pills? They were giving me shots. Do you know what kind of shots? Intravenous. Did you ever suffer an inconvenience as a result of the shots or pills? Yes, I did. In what way? My whole body swelled up bad, and the joints froze up. I couldn't even move. I had hives all over me. I also had a rash. You say you had hives all over you. Describe what you mean by that. Red bumps all over your body? Yes. Do you have any knowledge?
How's the raid train been for you so far? We had some really cool discussions and ghost lines and popular thing slots. Nerdy Fam Gamer, who rated Pop, had Spotify song requests on, so that was fun too. I haven't been watching any of the streams because I've been also streaming every day. I stream every day, and then I get prepared for the next stream the next day, and then I stay up waiting to get tired so I can fall asleep. Then when I wake up exhausted. And then I try to do my steno practice every day for a couple hours before stream. So I haven't been watching any of the streams, but I have been lurking in all of them. I currently have 2 Melody Wisp tabs because of it. Let me close that one. I'm glad you've been having fun with all the streams. Everyone's been doing a lot of different things, I've noticed.
What these hives and this rash were from? Not definitely, but I never had it before.
I wonder what a person's going through. They were in the hospital for some reason. I'm sure some of the VODs are available. I was watching some of Taiwan VOD. They were covering the history of asexuality.
Format. Now we'll do some
in terms. Oh, I did see that. When I was clicking onto one of the tabs, I did see that they were going over the history of asexuality, which is really cool. I'm sure it was very educational. Oh yeah, I should probably I still have incentives for donating to Point of Pride. Those are my incentives. If anyone missed them and is curious, wants to donate, they could use the money. I currently am sitting at $95 donated. I'll be doing my stenography streams on Thursdays as always. But what I'll do is I'll also be fundraising for Point of Pride because all my incentives are Steno related.
And this will start with the plaintiff.
Okay, we're starting with the plaintiff.
Investigator Jones, how long have you been an investigator with the ABC? Little over 8.5 years. During the course of that work, have you had occasion to conduct narcotics-related investigations, focusing in on the purchase or obtaining illegal narcotics? Yes, I have. How many would you say you've been on? I've done over 70
The plaintiff on this side, I believe, is maybe the district attorney.
Or obtaining illegal narcotics? Yes, I have. How many would you say you've been on? I've done over 70 hand-to-hand undercover transactions. Okay, and that's where you participated in the event itself? Yes. And have you made, I don't know, corresponding number of arrests for those violations? Yes, I've made over 200 narcotics-related arrests. And have you received any special training in that area, illegal drug sales? Yes, I've had over 500 hours of narcotics training, including an 80-hour post-certified course. What kind of course? I'm sorry, POST, P-O-S-T. And what does POST stand for? Police Officer Standards and Training. And have you ever had occasion to testify in court or been that you have been qualified as an expert in this arena? Yes, I've been qualified in LA County and Orange County as an expert as it pertains to methamphetamine, cocaine, ecstasy, and other various drugs. Okay, so let me ask you this. In your fairly recent work as an ABC investigator, did you participate in this investigation that occurred at the business known as the Horseshoe at 5100 West Avenue in Los Angeles? Yes, I did. And what was just the general nature of your investigation?
Okay, we're going into an ad break. So I'll be sitting here just waiting for it to end. TikTok hasn't posted anything new. Thank God. I'm finding this Q&A to be pretty difficult so far. I always forget how to write Los Angeles. Epic Gaming. Highlight mixes posted. This doesn't seem like a very good clip. It's 1 minute 45 seconds. It looks like it's just me talking. Tomorrow it's Tuesday. So I play Metaphor ReFantasio tomorrow. Okay, we're back.
Investigation there overall. We initially received a complaint for sales of narcotics at the location, and we began an undercover investigation. All right, and during the course of that investigation, did you have occasion to make one or more visits to the premises? Yes. And on one or more of those visits, were you able to obtain narcotics? Yes, I was. Briefly speaking, in your overall, when you went to the Horseshoe, can you describe what kind of business establishment it is? It's basically a bar. I believe it opened in the early afternoon and stayed open to 2 a.m. and it was a type 48 license, which is typical bar. Okay, 48 means what can you do? On sale, general license. They can sell all types of alcohol. Okay, with no minors, right? Yes. All right, and why don't we go and speak of some of these? Let me have you focus your attention, if you would, to our first date of interest, which is June 24th, 2006. And let me ask you if on that day you had occasion to go to the Horseshoe. Yes, I did. And when you went there, was that in an undercover capacity? Yes. And who, if anyone, went with you? My partner, investigator Smither. All right. Spell that for the record, please. Smyther. Thank you. And on that occasion, was it open for business? Yes. Let me just ask you this. Did you go in an undercover capacity? Yes. And on that occasion, did you make entry? Yes. What was the general business? What was the business activity going on at that point? Appeared to be a typical bar. There was one bartender behind the fixed bar. Patrons were drinking mostly beer. Some were shooting pool. Relatively 10 to 15 patrons. And after you made entry, did you purchase anything to drink? Yes, I did. What did you get? A beer. Okay. And who did you get that from? The bartender was identified to us as Letty. And you consumed some of that beer, I suppose? Yes. So how did the investigation commence on this date? What was the first thing you recall occurring? I recall going into the restroom and observing an unidentified Hispanic male holding a clear plastic bag that contained a white powdery substance, and he was sniffing this substance in the men's restroom. Okay, was that relevant to you in some way in terms of your investigation? Yes. Why would that be relevant? Well, it was the first time we had been at this location, and first time in the restroom I see drug activity. Okay, and so then you make that initial observation of this unknown man. Do you have some kind of communication with him then? No, I didn't really talk to him, but upon him entering the restroom, he handed me the bag containing the white powdery substance and just gave it to me. Okay, and had you asked him for it? No. So what did you do with it? Kept possession of it, eventually, okay, booked it into evidence.
Okay, we have a test next.
This will be a 140 Q&A practice test. Plaintiff attorney, Mr. Prince, capital P-R-I-N-C-E. Defense attorney, Mr. Morton, capital M-O-R-T-O-N. We'll start with the plaintiff attorney. Sorry, 1 second here. Now we're ready. Start with the plaintiff attorney. Ready?
Ready.
Good morning, ma'am. Would you state your full name for our record? Judy Wilson. And would you spell your last name? Wilson. And I'm loathed to do this, but I do this for all witnesses. Could you give us your date of birth? 9/4/39. And your current home address? 2211 Sunset Drive. Sunset as in Sunset. And what city is that in? Cerritos. And how long have you lived on the Sunset Drive address? Let's see, it's been 39 years, so it's new to you. Yes. Okay. And are you currently employed? No. Ms. Wilson, it's nice to have a chance to meet you. I have spoken to you on the telephone to schedule this deposition, have I not? Yes. In my conversations with you, have you felt in any way that I have in any way tried to influence you or tried to sway you in terms of any part of what your testimony would be or what I wanted you to say? Anything like that? No. You understand that I've tried to cooperate with you in scheduling the deposition for today? Yes. Wednesday? Appreciate it too. No problem. And I just wanted to make it clear that I've never had a chance to meet you personally. This is our very first meeting. Absolutely. It's nice to meet you. We also have here Mr. Phil Wilson, who is an attorney here in the state of California and has been so for some time. Correct. He is going to be sitting through the deposition. And we had a brief discussion off the record that he will be representing his wife through the course of the depo. I don't know that she needs anything formal, but of course I think it's great that, hey, why not? You're an attorney, you're here. And I wanted to clarify it for Jim. We had a discussion off the record. You wanted me to clarify that he was going to be here. I have no objection to him being here, and he is here in both as capacity as a husband as well as capacity as her attorney representing her for the depo. Is that right? Right. And just for the record, I wanted to state that we did have that discussion off the record before we started the deposition. And Mr. Wilson indicated that he is representing his wife, Judy Wilson, at the deposition today. And it's on that basis that I have agreed to allow him to remain in the deposition, because if it was otherwise, I would have to ask that he be excluded. Okay, all right. Ms. Wilson, as I mentioned, it's nice to finally get a chance to meet you. Thank you. My name is Bill Prince. I represent one of the parties involved in a lawsuit, that has been filed. It relates to an accident that happened some time ago. My information is it was back in September on the 18th day of 2011. What I'm doing today is having a chance to essentially interview you. You're familiar with depositions, I'm sure, with your husband being an attorney. Your deposition is being taken today about information that you may have about that accident. The first thing I want to stress is that if there's any question that I ask of you today, that you don't understand any word in any question, the context of the question, anything at all about any question, I want you to let me know that you don't get it, you don't understand it. I won't be offended. I mean, it's not uncommon for some lawyers, including myself, to ask poor questions, but I want to make certain that if there's something you don't get, you will let me know. Will you do that for me? Certainly. You've done a great job, and I'm going to ask that you do it. And I think our court reporter will appreciate if you let me finish, as you have the full question. Give it a little air space, and then start to give your response. It makes for a happy reporter. It also assures me that you listened to and understood the full question, and then you answered it. Do you follow what I'm saying? Yes. And if you do answer a question, I'm going to assume that you listened to it, understood it, and then responded to it. Is that fair as well? Yes. You'll have an opportunity after our court reporter arranges for her notes to be typed up. You'll have a chance to, be it at your home or wherever you want to, review the transcript and make changes in your responses. What I'm after today is if we can get your very best responses today, as opposed to having to need changes.
Okay, we got 9 minutes left. 9 minutes, and then I get to rate out to okay, Ashley. So I'll just do a little of that. No, not that. Move bookmark. 23. Class 23 is the next one I do. Okay, save that. This is the other instructor. There are two for Platinum Steno. I don't know their names. But when I see her face, I know that the drill is going to be very difficult. She does very challenging drills. Okay, I'll just do a little jury charge in literary. While I wait for 8 minutes.
Hello everyone, welcome to the 120 Literary and Jury Charge. We're going to start off with some jury charge, and the subject is exemplary damages.
Exemplary?
Ready? Here we go. To justify an award of exemplary damages, the wrongful act must have been done willfully, wantonly, or maliciously. The mere fact that an act is wrongful or unlawful does not justify such damages. The fact that an act was done maliciously may be inferred from the fact that it was done with insult, cruelty, oppression, or other aggravated circumstances. It has been said that the word malice in this connection implies that the act complained of was done in a spirit of mischief or of criminal indifference to civil obligations, that it must have been done in wanton indifference to the rights invaded. Whatever is done willfully and purposely, if it be at the same time wrong and unlawful, is in legal contemplation malicious. However, inasmuch as it is well settled that exemplary damages may be recovered for a willful or wanton injury, irrespective of actual malice, it seems desirable to use the term malice in this connection in its ordinary popular sense. It is argued that the court violated this rule when it instructed the jurors that if, under the testimony of the case, they found that such assault was committed willfully and wrongfully, they could allow plaintiff such additional sum as they thought would be proper and right by way of punitive or exemplary damages for the purpose of deterring others from the commission of similar acts in the future. The recovery of punitive damages by this instruction left to the discretion of the jurors. They were not informed that they must return such damages if the evidence showed that the assault was willfully and unlawfully committed. It is contended that the instruction is erroneous because the trial court failed to use the word malicious. We think this contention, if sustained, would unduly restrict the cases in which exemplary damages are recoverable. The authorities very generally permit recovery when the tort is committed with cruelty, oppression, insult, or such gross negligence as to justify the inference of malice as a matter of law. The conditions under which such damages are recoverable are stated in the alternative. All these conditions need not concur. Whatever is done willfully and purposely, if it be at the same time wrong and unlawful, and that known to the party, is in legal contemplation malicious. That which is done contrary to one's own conviction of duty, or with a willful disregard of the rights of others, whether it be to compass some unlawful end, or some lawful end by unlawful means, knowing it to be such, constitutes legal malice. Okay, now I'm going to give you some land description.
Not land description. I don't want to do land description. Can we do the jury charge again? Okay, we rate out in 3 minutes. We have raised a total of $95 for Point of Pride, which I'm happy about. I usually don't raise any money during my charity slots, so I'm very surprised that I've reached nearly $100, my goal. So that's really great. And I've been introduced to 2 funny videos because of the incentives, the rewards. I will be streaming for Point of Pride a few more times. At least 2 more times. Right? At least 2 more times. Check. Yeah, at least 2 more times. I also have another Pride Raid Train on the 12th, right? Yeah, the 12th at 4:30. I'm going to be playing a small indie game called Life After Magic. It's about magical girls. It's a queer game. So that's going to be fun. I've played it before on stream, but I didn't do all the routes. I played it about 2 years ago, so I don't remember everything about it. Okay, it's getting to that time where I need to rate out. We got 24 people right now. Let me check to see if OK Ashley is online and ready for the raid. Okay. It's time to raid out. Thank you for sticking by, everyone who's stuck by. There is a raid message. Copy and paste it. I'll see y'all tomorrow. On Tuesday, it's Metaphor Refantasio. So I'm going to be playing that. Thanks for sticking by, despite my technical difficulties. See y'all tomorrow. Goodbye.